friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. We are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hello, Levi.
Hello, Jen. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
How are you?
Tired.
Tired. Yeah. I want to talk about it.
We did at length.
Do you want to talk about it some more?
No.
Okay.
Not with that condescending tone, but...
It's a bit. It's
Jen,
not for real. This is not for real.
Am I suffering a joke to you?
Right now, yes.
Great. Okay. Well, moving on then. Today, we are continuing with the MSQ, playing through the quest, He Who Would Not Be Denied. This is an Oops All Heresy segment.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, heresy is good, y'all. Right?
Heresy is good, y'all.
Heresy is good, y'all.
Jen, what happened last time to get us here?
Oh, we fought and killed Nidhogg.
Cool. A good recap. Anything else of note besides that?
Well, sure. Yeah, we had a once Estinian pried Nidhogg's only remaining eye out of his skull and compared it to the eye that he's been carrying with him the whole time as Azure Dragoon. He discovered that they are different colors. They're not from the same source? So that's a mystery. And we also got some hella backstory about the founding of Ishgard, the Ishgardian faith, and the four high houses, and the origin myth story or whatever per the scriptures is completely fabricated. And Haldrath, the original Azure Dragoon, was so disgusted by his father, King Thordan I's behavior and actions that he bailed, abdicated, and the four knights who witnessed all of this decided, you know what? The lie dies here, and we're going to build Ishgard on what we say.
Vice versa. The truth dies here, and we're going to build Ishgard on lies.
What did I say?
You said the lie dies here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The lie starts now.
Yeah.
Rather, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jen, for the more complete recap.
Whatever.
A little commentary in advance of today, Jen. Looking back on my opinions of Estinian, I think that we got primed to think of him as relentless and bloodthirsty way back in the A Realm Reborn job quest.
Which I think is fair.
It's not entirely inaccurate,
right.
But I think that he comes into Heavensward with a lot more depth and complexity than we were led to believe from the way we left things off in A Realm Reborn with his whole, like, dragon possession, I'm going to kill you deal.
Like, his humanity had been, at least as far as we could tell from this particular quest line, had been severely impacted by the Eye and being an Azure Dragoon, and that definitely affected how we saw him and how we assumed he would behave in polite society. But that's straight up just not the case.
Yes and no, of course, because he does have his moments for sure of single-minded bloodthirst, vengeance.
And he will acknowledge that.
But looking back, though, to when we first began our desperate mission, Estinian is actually fairly open-minded for a prominent Ishgardian figure. And he has been quick to shed his indoctrinated beliefs when presented with contravening evidence.
Oh, yeah.
And I say all this because today we are going to see a very different outlook for Estinian than we have so far, but there is a build-up to this point. It is not just kind of like a switcheroo. There has been a lot of track laid for this different outlook without jumping too far ahead just now.
Right. And also we have to remember that his, I guess, fanatical anti-dragonness or I guess just his personality being so intertwined with dragonkind and that mess doesn't necessarily mean that he is a dyed in the cloth like true Ishgardian faith believer.
Yes, he's actually not really. He's all about vengeance, and that is what he believes
his
in.
Faith.
It's not about the Ishgardian doctrine, which allows him, I think, to pivot more quickly.
100%. But in certain contexts, it's really hard to discern between the two.
Yes.
So up to this point, we thought, well, that's just kind of how they all are, or we could attribute his opinion on dragonkind to him being Ishgardian or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Okay, good. That's all. Just wanted to prime us today for what we are going to see. So we pick up in the churning mists as we overlook Nidhogg's domain once more. We don't spend long here. We just collect our final ether current, and we officially gain the Monocutter as a mount. And Estinian sets a new course, confronting Hraesvelgr with the golden eye that we found in Nidhogg's skull. And if Isart yet lingers at Zenith, all the better. I would have her hear the truth from the dragon's maw. Jen, if you had asked me last time if we would camp out on the mystery of the third eye for a while, I would say definitely yes. As in, I would expect this to kind of hang over us for a bit. And oftentimes in visual media, there are details that are clear to the viewer, but not to the characters necessarily, that are highlighted for the viewer's benefit. But no, Estinian sees this gold eye, and he knows just where that goes. Mm-hmm. And we're taking it to Hraesvelgr.
Yeah. So to the peak of Zenith we go, and we blow the horn.
Well, before then.
Well, it's so, I mean, okay, so also Estinian remarks on the new patina on his armor, and he's not very pleased with it. He's like, this isn't very good. I'm going to make new armor. Just as a reminder, it turned blood red as soon as he pulled the eye out.
I was going to remark though upon Izel, who is still moping there.
She's not. She was hella moping when we left her, and she's not moping now, but she's still hanging out.
I think that she's moping, but now she sees us and is ready for some new barbs slung in our direction.
Yeah, she's mad that we're back, and we just can't let Hraesvelgr mourn in peace.
She also heard Nidhogg's death cry from here, and she accuses Estinian, of course, for inflicting yet more violence, but he has no patience for her and her barbs. Spare us your sanctimonious judgment, Ice Maiden. We have a gift for the great wyrm, and a mystery that can no longer lie buried. So we now toot that horn once more, and Hraesvelgr descends to chide us, impenitent mortals, ever seeking to bury old wrongs under new. I did sense the moment of Nidhogg's demise. Estinian counters with, you mean the moment I pried your eye from his head?
Oh.
And we offer up Hraesvelgr's missing eye to him, which flows willingly back into its socket. And we get an echo flashback.
Boom. So now we see kind of the moment. So last time we saw, immediately after Nidhogg was blinded, we saw the point of view from Haldreth and the high houses and the knights, etc. So now we see that moment from the perspective of Hraesvelgr and Nidhogg. So immediately after Nidhogg was beset upon by King Thordan and his eyes were stolen, he is crashing down into the middle of the lair he shared with Hraesvelgr. And he confirms...
I think this is the temple-like structure that we're in now in its glory days.
Perhaps. I couldn't immediately discern a similarity. I mean, we're surrounded by ruins. It could have been one of these structures. Whatever.
I assume
but
so,
it was like
because
he goes back to his house. He confirms Radatoskr's murder at the hands of the Elezen, and how they took her eyes and feasted on her blood. And Hraesvelgr bemoans Shiva's kin turning bestial, and therefore dissolving the peaceful accord between the two peoples. Nidhogg accuses Hraesvelgr of allowing his relationship with Shiva to blind him as well, in a way, inviting all of this. So he demands one of Hraesvelgr's eyes as penance, and with even even half of his strength, he vows to perpetuate vengeance against the Elezen and their children in perpetuity. Quote unquote, the song begins. Just the name of the quest. So both we and Izel are witness to this vision, and she is horrified even more. Hraesvelgur's acquiescence to Nidhogg's demand of half his strength directly resulted in the 1,000-year-long Dragonsong War, countless deaths, immeasurable misery. But her indignance does not move Hraesvelgur. Quote, "The peace my beloved so dearly desired had been shattered by her own kin. Their treachery claimed my brood sister's life and my brood brother's reason. Thinkest thou thy fits of indignation will move me to remorse?" And he asks us to leave, emphasizing how Shiva's soothing embrace is the only thing preventing him from killing us where we stand. So he leaves. And there's a bit of a campfire moment again with everyone.
I wouldn't go that far.
Mostly Estinian, but yeah, a little bit of a,
Izel, she's now pissed at Hraesvelgur, overcoming the assumed kinship that she felt beforehand. She recognizes that Nidhogg was full of nothing but hate, and no matter what path we took to get here, we have ended the war and put an end to what both Nidhogg and Hraesvelgur have helped to perpetuate.
Right. I mean, Hraesvelgur, I guess, in a way, like kind of tacitly endorsed or passively allowed.
He gave Nidhogg the weapon which allowed him to carry on this war. I think is more than a passive endorsement.
Well, endorsement is also, I think, too strong of a word, frankly. But.
It's important because Nidhogg declares before Hraesvelgur surrenders the eye, Nidhogg declares that he will inflict enduring torment upon the traitors and every child of their line, and Hraesvelgur says, okay.
Okay.
So there is full complicity, or even like endorsement in a sense, I would say, at a minimum, if not more, of what would happen. Obviously, Hraesvelgur is not the one doing the thing, and obviously the Elezen are not blameless whatsoever. But
we can't forget that Nidhogg would die otherwise.
Yes.
So Hraesvelgur was put in a very difficult position.
Yes.
So I don't think we can say that he fully endorsed his course of action, but he recognized his brother's rage and probably felt a little bit of that as well.
Yes.
But it's either I give him my eye or he dies.
So
that's a hell of a choice.
Everyone is guilty here to some extent, some more so than others, but you are fully correct, Jen, about that decision being a factor as well. Either way, though, for Izel, this makes her feel betrayed by the dragon that she once looked up to. Yeah. And she is pissed. Estinian, though, he's in the middle of an opposite transition because he is calming the fuck down.
Right? Yeah.
'Twas his life's goal to slay Nidhogg, but there is little joy to be had in its accomplishment.
You have rid the world of a hate-filled creature, and ended a bloody war in so doing.
I lost my family to Nidhogg's flames, and 'twas with fury in my heart that I took up the lance. Every blow I struck in the name of vengeance. We were not so different, he and I.
I will not judge you for your deeds. I have not the right. Too many innocents have perished in the name of my greater good.
Yet even with all that has passed, the tale is incomplete. We are short a great worm's eye. Of the pair which Haldreth took from Nidhogg, only one is known to us, the one I bear. What then became of the other?
Why did Nidhogg, who had taken such pains to prolong the Dragonsong War, suddenly decide to hurl his entire army against the walls of Ishgard?
Like right now.
Yes.
After all of this time, why right the fuck now?
Before we can wonder further, though, we get a Link Pearl ping.
This is to Estinian. And he can scarcely get out the words, Nidhogg is slain, before he learns of fighting within the walls of Ishgard. The Lord Commander is calling, by the way. So apparently some commoners from inside threw open the gates to the city and a whole bunch of heretics ran in. And so now there's this standoff between heretics and the Temple Knights, and this is a fuck. Even with the Dragon Song War ended, the fighting of Ishgardian against Ishgardian persists. And Estinian wonders, was Hraesvelgr right about us? Yes. Yes, he is. So as we and Estinian go to leave, Izel shouts that she would like to accompany us, to speak to her people and convince them to cease fighting. So we're looking back at her and she's like, stop, I want to come with you. And just the thought of Lady Iceheart walking into Ishgard seems, well, at this point, blasphemous, and it is on paper. But we look at her and we're like, yeah, girl, let's go. And we look to Estinian and he kind of pauses because it feels like Estinian is going to have to be the one to give final permission here. And he looks at her briefly before saying, come then, Lady Iceheart. Let us write the final chapter in this damnable war. And I like how he switches back and forth between pejoratives like Ice Maiden, and then he refers to her as her honorific, Lady Iceheart. So he's calling her out when it's warranted, but he also respects her when it's warranted, like in every other time. So I think it shows this is a little bit of a Estinian has got a little something going on. He's not just a one note. I enjoy that. So anyway.
Yeah, so we cut
to deep within the vault.
Yeah, I wrote the same thing. Good job, Jen.
Hey, nice.
Exact quote from my notes as well.
Deep within the vault?
Yes.
Nice, yeah. This is where King Thordan VII meets with his Knights 12.
Archbishop Thordan.
He's the monarch. But yes, Archbishop
Ishgard is ruled by the 4 high houses, Jen. Wow, look at this heresy here. We barely wrapped up our heresies.
King in all but name.
He's here with his knights. Zephyrin reports to Thordan about the heretic invasion.
They're deeply unbothered.
In fact, this unrest shall serve to feed the people's fear of the heretics and the dragons both.
Ooh, nice. Bonus.
And lend renewed fervor to their prayers for deliverance. Very good. Grant our guests what time they need to sow a measure of chaos, then order the Temple Knights to crush them.
Your will be done.
And in private, a familiar Ascian lurks behind Thordan's throne. This is Lahabrea.
Oh, that guy.
He schemes. Excellent.
He literally is like, excellent.
All shall soon be in alignment.
Everything but the finger touching. Yes.
It is time for the bringer of light to die.
Sure.
And the scene ends. So now we have a deeper look into what's going on with the Lahabrea and Thordan plot here. So they are drumming up thoughts and prayers for a primal summoning, knowing something about primal science now. And we know that Thordan, from past scenes, thinks that he can exploit Lahabrea, but we know from Gaius how well that plot's going to go.
Correct.
And of course, Lahabrea wants a primal to kill us and get us out of the way of his schemes. But Jen, what primal could the knights of this circular table be hoping to summon? Jen is giving me it's like a smirk and a scoff at the same time, I think.
I don't know. If I were, I know because I've played this before.
You don't know because you are not you were not, past tense, a Final Fantasy longtime fan, though you've become much more indoctrinated since then, Jen.
Weird how that works.
So you would not know this classic summon that may be...
Okay. Yeah. So I was looking at you with an appropriate face. Like you're after
an
something.
Appropriate face.
You're going to do some sort of reveal, and Jen's going to be out of the loop.
Jen's not, because she knows what happens, for one.
Well, yes.
And two, it was meant to be coy statement, but then you gave me this long stare, and I felt on the spot, so I could not move on. I had to sit here and be beheld by you for like a good 20 seconds in the actual time, though we'll probably cut it down a bit to not have dead air for that long.
Let that silence just sit.
Back outside, we get launched into a very exciting scene. We have returned to the city and recruited Horshaphant to our aid. Our group rushes through the chaos of the attack, past citizens in disarray and blazing fires, to arrive at a band of heretics about to engage with a squad of temple knights. And our group inserts themselves into the midst of the showdown. We
just have to say, before we rush in and get between the two factions to be like, stop fighting. When we run into the city and there's people running around, it's chaos, and we see Horshaphant and he sees us and we're like, hey, what's up? He sees Lady Iceheart with us and he's like, what? There's no speaking, but it's the what face. And Estinian is just like, he literally has this like shrug. Just like, I'll tell you later. And we look at him, we look at Horshaphant, and we're like, it's cool, man. It's cool. This is on purpose. This is okay. And he's like, all right, fuck it. We ball. So then we go.
In our showdown, Lady Iceheart steps forward, urging the heretics to stand down. At first, they think that she is here to support the attack, and they celebrate. But no, she announces that Nidhogg is slain, the war is over, and she does this triumphantly.
The endless cycle of violence between man and dragon was born of our forefathers' treachery. You have followed me, bled with me, to bring this truth to light that we might all know peace. But Nidhogg is dead. Nidhogg is dead, my friends. He who bore such hatred towards Ishgard is dead!
She attempts to recap the past several hours in one short speech, unsuccessfully. She's twisting their truth quite a bit here. But Nidhogg is dead. Let his hatred die with him. Let us sheath our swords and go in peace. And Jin, the heretics are confused. I really like that they don't go, oh, okay, and go along with her. They do not buy this like sudden 180 she's done on her.
Well, yes. Yes, they are confused. And some of them probably seemed actually just straight up disappointed.
Yes. Well, we'll get there in a second as this does develop further.
Well, I also want to touch on, when she's giving this speech and whatever, when she's saying Nidhogg has been slain by this adventurer, quote unquote, excuse me, and the Azure Dragoon, not these two Azure Dragoons, which I thought you would pick up on.
I feel like that's been a bit for too long.
But also, it wasn't even, as I was typing up my notes, I was like, by the Warrior of Light and I'm like, I don't even think she says Warrior of Light.
No.
And I check, and no, she just calls us this adventurer. Fine. That's fine. We know our truth.
We do.
So anyway, yeah. So again, we've got this group of heretics. They are ready to, they're literally here to go to war for their cause.
She tells them, like, they are confused why she's saying don't fight, but they take away from her speech, though, that Nidhogg is dead. And they go, oh shit, we lost the war.
Yeah, a guy is like, wait, so we lost? And she's like, no,
we won the war because we won peace. Again, she has been on this journey with us and has seen truths and seen shit. And these guys are still deep in the Kool-Aid.
Right.
And they do not go with her when she says, guys, it's cool and it's great.
Yeah.
But they take away the part that makes them leave, which is that they have lost because Nidhogg is dead. So they fall back and they are dejected.
Right. It's like they don't know what to do with their lives now, which is fair. And this was not the time nor the place to have this sort of come to Jesus moment. But she's doing this because she just has a conflict that she needs to end right this second.
Yeah.
There's no time. So, yes, of course they're confused. Of course, everything that they've ever known and believed is like, okay, just put a pause on that. All right, let's put a pin in it. We'll circle back. And they sheathe their weapons and they just turn around and they're like, the fuck is this shit? They just kind of shuffle away.
And she goes with them.
Well, before she does, the Temple Knights that are there are still ready and raring to go. And they take this opportunity to say, seize the witch. But Horshaphant, moves in, and he instructs them, hey, I think a better use of our efforts right now is to tend to the wounded. And if the heretics have embraced peace, it would be folly for us to do otherwise. You know, like a little big brother, get your mind straight kind of advice. So anyway, we've got the streets cleared of conflict for now. And the Temple Knights have gone, the heretics have gone. We're standing there like, ugh.
And now Horschiffon asks us what the fuck just happened.
What the fuck just happened? Why the fuck is Lady Iceheart here?
And we explain our super secret plan to him now, and he is amazed. Never was there a more unlikely alliance, nor one so magnificently effective. Nidhogg dead. Heretics pacified. Father and Sir Emmerich must know this.
Mm-hmm.
He is so pumped for us.
And also he, at no point was he like, what the fuck? It's more like, he fully trusts our judgment. If we're hanging out with Lady Iceheart, that means that she's good. Or
yeah, he's a fanboy.
Yes, like he trusts us implicitly.
So we decide to tell our story one more time only. So everyone get together at Fortomp Manor, and we'll tell you all at once.
Everybody get in this goddamn room because we're not going to tell it again.
Yep. So we get Emmerich and we get Father,
it's Edmont,
Lord
it's
Fortomp,
Lucia, it's Horschiffon, it's Alfino.
Everyone together, and we return to the manor to give the full account.
Here we go. So, yes, this is where everybody else in the room learns that the core tenet of the Ishgardian faith was based upon falsehoods, perpetrated by those who betrayed the dragons, and the four forebears of the high houses who witnessed the actions of King Thordan I and his son's abdication, all colluding to build Ishgard upon a false narrative. So the scriptures also describe the founding of the four high houses, and if that's revealed to be false, it will throw their rule into question entirely. This is like we're all trying to reconcile everything that we've just heard. Well, not us, the newbies. So if both, and this is Lord Fortomp kind of like talking through it here. So if both lowborn and highborn can trace their lineage back to King Thordan, hello? And Alfino is like, a single sip of dragon's blood is required to confirm their lineage, and that's it. Like we're all from the same soup, y'all. So now
nuts from the same soup.
Well, nuts from the same soup. Don't put nuts in your soup. That's weird. Unless they're pepitas, and then
there are many nut-based soups, Jen.
Nut-based soups, such as Nutella.
That's a paste, Jen, not a
paste.
Soup.
Ew. It's terrible. It's a spread.
Yes, okay. Spreading paste.
Okay. Oh my god.
Anyway, there are a good few like almond-based soups, for instance. I know because I have blanched almonds and had to like rub the peels off them for like an hour straight to make one of these things.
Oh, I think I recall that. How annoying was that?
Very. It was not worth the squeeze, in my opinion, but either way.
There's got to be a better way. Anyway, if y'all have your favorite nut-based soup recipes, feel free to share them in the Discord.
I was going to share, there's also a hazelnut-based soup that we've done, Jen.
Why don't I remember this stuff? You did like quite a bit of experimentation on recipes during lockdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just too much for me to recall.
Too many soups.
Too many soups. Too many soups on the dance floor. Too many soups.
On the soup floor.
On the stove top?
Yes, but it flows less well.
On the stove top. No, I think that
okay.
That's great.
Fine.
So anyway, back to the parlor at Fortomp Manor. So at this point, Sir Emmerich, he's been listening to all of this. And finally he speaks. If the Holy See knew of this and chose to remain silent, their crimes are grievous indeed. Regardless, this state of affairs cannot be allowed to continue. And everyone in the room understands that Emmerich is an idealist, but the implication that he intends to confront the Archbishop causes a bit of panic in the room. So at best, as Alfino says, he will be branded a heretic and clapped in irons. And if the Holy See has concealed this information for centuries, what reason would there be for them to reveal it now or allow it to happen at all? So a confrontation like this more than likely is going to end very badly. with true reform even further beyond their grasp. But Sir Emmerich is undeterred, an idealist. He will not let this go. And if the Archbishop responds as we all assume he will, then his true colors will finally be revealed, and Sir Emmerich considers this to be a win. Worst case scenario, still a win. So until the truth is known by everyone, the war will never end. The ruling class will continue to manipulate the masses, conceal the truth, cry heretic, empower the Inquisition, all in the name of maintaining the status quo. We've gone too far. But and now that Lady Arshert, oh my god.
Wow,
no!
Jen. What are you, Estinian?
That's right. I'm surprised he hasn't let that one slip. So now that
he's not so crude.
That was awful, yeah. So now that Lady Icehurt will disseminate the truth to her followers, this is a cork that cannot be unpopped. Sir Emmerich lays out what will happen next. He sees it plain as day. There will be no stopping the spread of this information. And the common enemy that united Ishgard will be gone. And the old order will be challenged by the disenfranchised, who will rise up and, quote, blood will flow in the streets once more. So he walks over to the parlor doors and leaves us with his parting words. A divided Ishgard will not survive.
And we watch him go, and we immediately assume he's going to fail. We jump right to...
We're like, oh God, how do we save his ass?
Yeah, the contingency plan here. And Alphino, even after his recent adventures, he sympathizes with the desire for reform, but to approach the Archbishop in this manner bespeaks an idealism to which he did not think Sir Emmerich prone.
Lucia is like, dude,
yeah,
you don't even know.
This is why she swore an oath to serve him, despite her being a foreigner, because of his character, not because of
and she's
the
not
cause
Ishgardian.
he champions. No.
Do we know that?
We know that she's a foreigner, Jen.
Okay.
I don't know if we know that she's actually, so I might cut that.
I feel like we've already done that because she's got the headgear. She's obviously huge.
She's huge.
I think we've, but not like row huge, like, huge.
Highlander huge.
I feel like, possibly, but she doesn't have the bone structure. I feel like we've definitely addressed this
I don't think we
before.
have. And there's another thing which comes to light in a moment, actually, Jen, which I was like, I swear we talked about this, but I don't think it has come up in this timeline. So I will cut it to be safe. And if people know, great. If not,
yeah, there you go.
Then we're not going to spoil them.
But yeah, she reminds everybody that she is not born of this land.
Yes.
Therefore, her allegiance is to Sir Emmerich.
You cannot mean, Alphino trails off, but yes, she does mean, if the Lord Commander does not return from the vault at the appointed hour, Lucia means to go and fetch him.
Yeah.
And now,
treason.
Count for Top begins to stress the fuck out. This is dangerous talk in his very own home.
Yeah. Luckily, you're with friends here, but like if anybody else were to hear you say this, you'd be done.
Such as the two manservants plus whoever else is like in the wings of the chamber.
I mean, maybe, but I'm assuming they're all vetted and... Because, again, they're working for, like, the most, like, magnanimous of the high houses from what we've seen. So they know that their situation could be worse and will be worse
It's not
in any
like
other
anyone
house.
Has never betrayed someone for short-term gain.
No, you're right.
But this is hypotheticals, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying that this is not inherently okay.
It's not... We're not in a safe room.
No, we're not.
We're not in a panic room.
But there is a silver lining... Or maybe not that, but I guess there is a backup plan, if nothing else, which is to rely upon the rumors of Emmerich's heritage. And this is what I mentioned, because I thought we talked about this beforehand when we first met Emmerich, but I don't think so. I think I'm misremembering from past playthroughs. Because Alphino asks now, what are you talking about? And Lucia says, word is that Sir Emmerich is the Archbishop's bastard son. Senior clergy are not permitted to marry and sire children, but even the holiest among us are not immune to temptation.
That's a whole other problem.
Yes. But that Emmerich rose to his current position, despite being despised as a bastard and accused of profiting from his father's influence, bespeaks the quality of his character. And she hopes that this relation may serve to delay, not stop, but delay his likely execution for long enough for us to intervene.
Right.
He's going to die, just maybe not right away. So now Estinian steps in. Bastard or trueborn, he is our nation's best hope. If the Holy See dares threaten him, I shall lead the charge against the vault myself. And Horshavan is now getting all fired up by all this heroic talk.
Hear, hear! The future of Ishgard rests on Sir Amaric's shoulders. I too will do mine utmost to aid his cause.
And now poor Count Vertomp, who has found himself hosting a revolution in his parlor, tries to urge Horshavan to calm the fuck down. But no, he is fired up and he will not stop.
I mean, with good reason. I mean, so he says, there is no greater calling for a knight than to save the life of his fellow man. And I swear to you on the sigil of our house that I shall do this and make you proud. And, Edmont here he's outnumbered. And he knows the cause to which they pledge themselves is just and right and correct and true. And so he calls us all romantic fools and says, well, make your preps, do your shiz, get your techs up. And so Lucia...
But are you truly prepared to do this, to face the Heavensward in battle, if you must? And Horshavan replies, have no fear, father. My arm will not falter. My shield will not break. I promise you we shall prevail. And Alphino now hops on the ride too. Far be it from me to criticize a man for his blind idealism. Emmerich may have at least pretended to consider another course. But we're now all in on this, everyone here.
Yeah, Emmerich was just like, no, we're doing this right fucking now. I mean, as you can understand, like, this reveal was one hell of a reveal. And Sir Emmerich being the person that he is, yeah, he's not going to sit there and hem and ha and try to figure out, like, oh, maybe I could, no. And also, probably the virtue of the circumstances of his birth made him feel even more empowered to do this in the first place. Like, technically he's my dad, so maybe he feels a little bit safer doing this than a normal person off the street. Or a normal knight off the street, you know what I mean? Lucia is like, thank you guys, I appreciate your support, but this is going to be an endeavor. We are not going to have enough people. But Alphino wonders if, we could use knights from one of the other high houses. And I mean, this is problematic for a number of reasons, but Lucia is like, no, one that still wouldn't be enough. Two, we would have a hell of a time. She doesn't say this, but this is my interpretation. We would have a hell of a time convincing them to do this. Like, why do you need this? Oh, let's explain. Like, no. We need to keep this under wraps and recruit people that are kind of already in the appropriate headspace for this. And she says there is a faction of Ishgardians that would be in the right headspace for this, and that would be the revolutionaries from the Broom, the people who opened the gates to Ishgard for the heretics. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So she asks us as outsiders to search for their leader in the Broom and petition them for their aid. Obviously, if she goes down there and does it, they're just going to be, we've seen this before. The Broom shuts its fucking door to everybody that they deem as, the elite. So this means a trip to the Forgotten Knight and a visit with our eye in the sky, Tataru.
Yeah, and that's where we leave off here. I don't have much to say that was not said during our talk today. I think that this giant boulder is rolling, dude. This is riveting here plot-wise. I think there have been, on our replay, there have been some severe pacing issues with the lead-up to our confrontation with Nidhogg, not helped by the A Realm Reborn postscript that was interwoven in there. But even that aside, I think that, I guess a second playthrough perspective, the pacing was a bit stop and go here, but right now we are flying, and this is, I think, like peak Heavensward quality.
Yep.
With plots entangling and unfurling at the same time. This is really, I think, where we begin to get wrapped up in everything there's so much more drama to come, despite the fact that the actual war, which got us started, is now over.
Yeah, this is a whole new. It's just Pandora's box.
Any final comments?
No, let's just keep this train going.
Okay, well, next time we're keeping on the train, like Jen said. We're back on the MSQ.
Choo-choo, mother.
In terms of the overall forecast here, we have next episode for this broom business. And also a shit ton of side quests have popped up, so I expect we'll be doing a side quest roundup as well. And then we'll be in the next dungeon. So we will see you then.
And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. And tune in next week for more stories of Lady Arsehart and the Azure Dragoon.
That's the Heavensward porn name.
Oh, no. It must exist, right? Rule 34 and all that. Anyway, if you would like to get in touch with us, you can at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com. We are on the Blue Sky at podreturnffxiv. Check the show notes for our Discord. You can get in there and meet a bunch of really amazing people. Join us for some of these group runs. Share photos, things like that. Love it in there. And we would love to have you. Also, we have t-shirts now. Check the show notes also for the TeePublic link and see what we got on offer. Levi did some incredible pixel art of the Major General as an Azure Dragoon. Looking pretty sweet, so check it out and get you some stuff if you want. And last but not least, our Patreon, patreon.com/podreturnffxiv. And for $1 a month, you get access to the other stuff that we do. That includes the seasonal events from Final Fantasy XIV, episodes about some of the peripheral things like the card game, the tabletop RPG, our Final Fantasy XI series, Vanadil Van Splainer is on there. And we will be starting a brand new series for Final Fantasy VI coming up. So get in there. With that, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a good day or night, and we will see you next time.